Time now is 8:17 a.m. on August 26th. I slept from 5:20 to 1:15. That's even less than 2 hours, and less than 3 hours, and I wasn't too serious when I was picking clothes. But yeah, I just woke up. Maybe it was because I was nervous, but I didn't immediately fall asleep. Which is so annoying, as if I didn't already sleep late. So, yeah. Silica and death grips. Shit. I can't think. I'm so tired. I actually cannot. I can't even fucking move. I can't. Oh my god, I'm so tired. I'm so sleepy. Okay, tonight I go to bed at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. is the goal. Fuck. I can't do this anymore. Yeah, I definitely need caffeine. Oh my god, I definitely need caffeine. But yeah, excited for the 3 classes today. It's gonna be 3 very interesting classes. Yeah. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, time now is 9:16 a.m. in the morning on August 26th. I'm dying in the inside. I just finished watching a silent film on 1.75 times speed, and I'm about to start my first class of the semester. And as per tradition, I need to do a little chant before going to class. Because it's tradition, and even though I'm super tired, I have to do it. So, second semester at USC, I hope I infiltrate more clubs, and fuck, I want to shave. I'll shave right after this. I'll infiltrate more clubs, meet more interesting people. I'm gonna fight, and fight. So, say it with me, guys. Let's go, detective. 3, 2, 1. Let's go, detective. 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 All right, let's go. Oh boy.
It can show us things with this new technology that no one has seen before. So he goes on, to summarize, the cinema of attraction directly solicits spectator attention, inciting visual curiosity, and supplying treasure through an exciting...
I just learned this yesterday. No, I think you're like because that's flavor. It's like separate. Like one's a lecture teacher and one's not. They work together. Yeah, it's for the same class. That was an option.
I thought this was together. Yeah.
Wow.
It'll go how it goes.
Right, so I'm curious, what made you want to be a biblical archaeologist?
I like history a lot, and then like.
All right, time now is 4:11 p.m. I am back in my base. Yeah, lots to talk about. I can't wait to talk about what just happened to me. It's nothing crazy, but it's just today's gonna be another very heavy day, another very dense day where a lot happens. But yeah, this morning I was dead inside, less than 3 hours of sleep. It's fucked up. My limit is 4 hours. Anything less than 4 hours, I'm kind of going a little insane. It's honestly a miracle, the fact that I'm still functioning and talking, and I actually feel okay right now, even though I slept for less than 3 hours, and I already slept less than 3 hours already, like a couple of days ago. So again, pure sleep deprivation. But hopefully, I swear to God, swearing that I'll sleep earlier from here on out. Starting from tonight, I'll be sleeping earlier. Trust me, I believe. Yeah. So what happened today? This morning, I watched Sunrise. I finished watching it. I watched it in 1.75 times speed, and thankfully, I was able to finish it. Also, last night, I was gonna go to bed at 5:15 or like 5, but shit kept happening. Like, I don't know why. I guess I'm stressed, but I accidentally, I touched the wrong thing. My leg touched the toilet bowl, and I had to wash it. And then I suddenly heard some ruffling sounds here, so I thought there's a cockroach. So it was very frustrating. And then I couldn't fall asleep for a while, even though I was tired. Yeah, it's terrible. And then I had a nightmare. I had a very terrible dream. But the thing is, I forgot what happened in the dream. I still remember what happened in the dream shortly after I woke up. But now I've completely forgotten about it. I think I had to kill somebody, or I was forced to kill somebody, or somebody was going to kill me. But it was a very sour dream, a very anxiety-inducing dream that I really didn't enjoy. I did enjoy, but but not in a good way, So you can tell I'm stressed about the coming semester. Not stressed, but like nervous, excited too. But anyways, this morning went well. I watched the silent film Sunrise. I immediately changed my clothes right on time. I caught the bus. Holy shit, I was so scared I was going to be late to the bus. Thank God I'm not. I hate that I still have to rely on this bus. But walking to school from this place is not terrible. But yeah, I took the bus to school. I checked the location, double checked. It's Norris Theater. And after I got off the bus and I walked through the campus, I saw a guy in front of me with a white shirt and short pants, very casual clothes. And his hair looks like Matt. So I was thinking, is that Matt? Turns out it is. So I was like half an hour early, which is like the principle. I always want to be early to class if it's like the first day of the semester. And I saw him and we talked, and at first I was scared that I didn't recognize him, because to be fair, I've only seen him twice. That's not enough for me to recognize who he is, but I was able to recognize him. Or more like, I do recognize him, but like I have second thoughts, because he doesn't seem like the person I know. Like, I don't know why, but Matt today seemed a little bit different. He seemed more memey and like more relaxed. I guess he's always kind of relaxed, but he always gives me like quiet introvert but like artsy kind of person. But him being in short sleeve shirt and short pants, and I thought he's wearing black midi merch, but it's just like I love something on a white shirt. Like it's so casual, and he's so, I don't know, he's more talkative today, and he laughed a lot, and it's like, this is not the Matt I know. What's happening? So we decided to sit together, which is great. I was thinking like, what? Maybe I should wait for Rachel, so that I and Rachel could sit together. But I'm glad I'm sitting with Matt, and Matt sat front and center. Like he's that kind of person. He's like, that's the best seat of the house. That's the best seat of the theater. So he sat at the near front, like the second row, almost the most front, and right at the center, dead center. And at first I'm like, maybe I'll sit somewhere else. But then I thought, fuck it, I'll sit front and center too. So Rachel didn't show up at all today. Rachel at first, she DM'd me and she was like, okay, I'll be late for like 30 minutes. And then at some point she's like, okay, no, I'm not going to show up today anyways. Which is expected of her anyways. And sitting with Matt, like watching a silent film with Matt beside me is much better, like much more interesting. Yeah. Because he's enjoying himself. And again, this is like, Matt has always been this like quiet, serious person. And by always, I mean, I've only met him twice. But like, he's so uppity and cheery today. And he laughs at everything. Like, the professor, this professor is like an old white guy, as expected. But he's passionate about silent films and film history, but I can imagine that a lot of people in this class will not enjoy this class. But me and Matt were both hardcore cinephiles, so I'm enjoying it. And this professor is way better than the American film history professor, the white woman. She was insufferable. This one is way better. But yeah, he still, it's not perfect. He's not like the best professor ever. Like, he's still not that entertaining. He's engaging, but not that entertaining. Like, if I was the teacher, I would be way more eccentric and make jokes, you know, and like, you know, talk to students. I know there are a lot of students in the class, but, you know. But yeah. So, yeah, we just watched a bunch of clips and then we talked, and Matt just laughed a lot. There are a bunch of silent films, like clips that we watch, and they're all kind of goofy, and Matt just like laughs out loud. The break happened. It was a short 10-minute break. Some random camps people that Matt knows sort of showed up and talked to Matt, and I was just awkwardly standing there. And then Leza showed up, so I talked to them a little bit, and that's great. And that's it. I don't know where is Lily, the Vietnamese girl, but she's probably in there somewhere. But yeah, Matt was like, "Oh, do you like this class? What do you think of it so far?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good." So I went through the whole thing, typed notes, and then I realized a huge issue is that I have 3 classes on Monday, and I don't like bringing my laptop charger outside because it's a nuisance. But my battery runs out very fast, even with battery saving mode on. So that's a problem. So I tried to like conserve energy today. And Matt, like, what a cinephile. Right before class begins, he's typing a review for Letterboxd, and he opens like a note app on his MacBook and typed it over there first. And then he like looked at like film screenings, and he went to Twitter, but it's all like film stuff. And then he watched the trailer to the new Harmony Korine film. He picked up a poster for The Crow, which is this very shitty film that just got released, and he was actually writing a review for that. And I'm like, oh my god, the grind never stops. But then again, last night, while I was in the bathroom at like 4 a.m., I was also writing a review. So, I mean, come on. So, you know, it's great. Yeah, there's one moment where we saw the clip, the train, arrival of the train at La Ciotat, and Matt was like, "Oh, so scary." It's like and then there's another silent film, but the music they use is like this ringtone. And like I started laughing. And he was laughing really hard. Like it's so funny. So I imagine that if I watched it with like some other student beside me, I wouldn't laugh at all. So yeah. Anyways, I'm looking forward. It's like a boring class, but because Matt's here, it makes it better. So we left, and I and Matt talked a little more. Matt talked with another professor who basically is like his friend, and apparently Matt got arrested by the DPS last semester because of the pro-Gaza protests, and he didn't even know that he could come back to USC and study until 2 days ago. So he literally came back to LA 2 days ago, and he told me he still has jet lag. And then I told him, oh, I'm just gonna grab some lunch from Starbucks, and then he's gonna meet a friend at the village, and that's it. And then as I was walking to Starbucks, I realized maybe I shouldn't have said that because Starbucks is like funding money to Israel, etc. And obviously, I don't know. Maybe he thinks, oh, this guy is not like a real, pro Gaza. I am pro Gaza. It's just I'm not as hardcore about it simply because I'm not as emotionally attached to it. But I don't want to push myself and be performative about this. If it's about Hong Kong, then I would, of course, be way more hardcore about it. Probably because it's, much more personal, obviously, and much less popular of a socio-political issue. I digress. So, went to Starbucks. I got an iced coffee mocha with whipped cream, and I wanted to get like a mozzarella bacon sandwich, but they ran out of it, so I got a tomato mozzarella sandwich. Very mid, very basic, but it's enough calories, it fills me up for lunch. Yippee-ki-yay. So, got those two things. I walked back to the village, went to DMC. It's also very interesting. This is the first day of school in a school year, and it's very great to see all these students sort of like coming together. And oh yeah, when I took CTCS 200 at the Norris Theater, there was another guy, clearly very young, white dude, maybe Asian, but I couldn't detect, who shook me and Matt's hands. So today, for the first half of that class, only me and Matt and this random dude are sitting at the second row, and in the front row is like TAs. So like we're like hardcore. This guy, like, he seems serious at first, but turns out he's a freshman, and I asked him, are you at CAMS? And he's like, what's that? And Matt kind of laughed, because how do you not know what CAMS is? And turns out he's like an economics major, so you're not going to enjoy this class. So Matt told him, you're going to hate it. I told him, why don't you take 190? So during break, he's like, are there easier classes? So yeah, but I'm liking it. I'm hyped for some of the films. The Ozu, the Hitchcock, the Running Yu, the Powell and Pressburger, Buster Keaton, the Harold Lloyds. I'm watching it. So, but great class overall because the lectures are very simple, but not very note heavy. And there are no readings. There's a final, I think, but there are no readings. Instead, we'll just be watching films, which is great. So, that's cool. Okay, went to Starbucks, came back, went to DMC, sat down on the table with a couple strangers. Very fast, quick lunch, and then went to DMC, room 207, and entered the classroom. So, yeah, Religion 301. So, I entered the classroom and there were already 2 white guys in there. So no East Asians today. No East Asians in the religion class. Only 8 people showed up, including me. 2 Southeast Asian girls, I reckon. And like a couple of white girls and a black girl. Yes, a couple. So that adds up to 8, right. I was shocked by the fact that when we all entered the class, we all started talking, which is insane. I've never experienced that. Like in every film class and art history, and even the Jesus class, everyone's kind of quiet. But this one, we all just started talking before class. Mainly because there's this white guy, and he's like hardcore religion fan. But he's a little pretentious. Like, he keeps asking very deep questions during the class. And it's just the first class. You don't need to do that. But he asked everyone for their phone numbers because he wants to make a group chat. And then we all sat down, we all talked a little bit before the professor arrived. She was a little late. And we talked about how, this professor had a real low score on Rate My Professor. So we were kind of concerned. I was like, oh yeah, I was a little worried. And everyone there was like, almost everyone there is like a religion minor, or like just into religions in general, into sociology, into archaeology, into philosophy, etc. And I sat in the same table as another white guy, and at first I'm like, should I sit alone? But then I thought, this class is going to be small. If I sit alone, that's death. I need to stick with someone ASAP. So I sat with the white guy. We didn't talk a lot, but, first class, bro. So the professor finally came, and I was expecting an old white American professor, a woman, old white woman. Who showed up is short-haired black British woman. She's British. Didn't expect that. And she's nice. So like, I was expecting that she's gonna be very strict because she has a very low score on Rate My Professor, but she's really nice. Yes, she's also very boring. Like, again, it's only the first class, so you never know. But she talks in a very monotone, slow way, and and she gave us all syllabus, hard copies of syllabus, so nothing's set in stone. So this Korean guy I met in the Jesus class last semester, she sent me his intro to religion syllabus. Same professor, same class. But it's very different because when he did the class, it's mainly the same professor, tons of readings, and a heavy focus on just Christianity. Our professor changed it up this time. It's gonna be more tentative, less focus on popular culture, but more guest lecturers, including the Jesus professor that I took with last semester. So that's great seeing her again. And also, apparently we'll be touching every religion. We'll be talking about Buddhism and Islam and Hinduism, and we'll be talking about Judaism. There's this one Jewish girl who keeps asking about Judaism. She's just super into it, which is a little concerning. Like, she keeps asking, so is there a Judaism speaker? Are we going to learn about Judaism? This black girl, she's really nice. She's really into biblical archaeology, and she took Hebrew. And that's very interesting. So we're all, and then there are like a couple of Christian girls here, as expected. But I guess it'll be interesting, and also the fact that we already kind of talked is great. So after the professor talked about the textbook, also everyone's a little scared that we would need a physical textbook because it's very expensive, and like we could just get it online. So thankfully the professor was like, you can get it online. So I immediately got the book from the mysterious website. And the black girl saw that I got the PDF on my laptop immediately. So after class, the black girl asked me, like, how did you get that PDF? So I immediately, very quickly, taught her where to get it. But yeah, that's good. So, seems promising. Nothing too bad so far. There's going to be a final exam, a very long research paper, but it doesn't seem like it's too heavy. Also, the previous semester's Religion 301, there are 2 giant books. This semester, it's just 1. So, less readings, hopefully. But yeah, manageable, definitely. So I left, and I ran into Glenn outside of DMC. He's like, "Whoa, what are you doing here?" You know, jokingly, and I was like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" He just finished a class. I just finished a class. He's going to another class. I'm going home. We talked a little bit, and it's cool. And he's like, "Yeah, meet me anytime." So I was gonna take a bus back home, but then the next bus ride comes in 33 minutes. But I walk really fast, so I managed to catch the bus that is in 1 minute. I caught that immediately. Super lucky. Came back home. Here I am. Seems pretty good for the first half. Seems pretty good. But I'm definitely the utmost excited for what's about to come tonight. So the plan right now, it's 4:31 p.m. I'm going to leave at 6:30. So I've had 2 hours now. I'm gonna edit some videos. I'm gonna eat chicken pot pie. That's the two things I'm gonna do. And then shit is about to go down tonight. I don't know what's gonna happen. It's my first film production class at USC. USC film production. Ball fucking sacks. And Franklin is gonna be there. I told Glenn about that, and Glenn's like, "Ooh, I don't know about him, but you know." Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. I don't know if I'm ready. I'm still struggling with drawing shit, but yeah. I also did a couple more things. I DM'd Yao because she made a couple Instagram stories where she and Cha from Indonesia did PD stuff, and I'm like, well, count me in. I also got an email from American Language Institute telling us how to apply for the job. So I'm definitely 100% gonna apply. Even if I don't get it, I have to try. That's how the game works, baby. And not much else. Very excited. And I also got an email about tomorrow's animation class. We're watching Wolfwalkers. I've seen that already. Great film. Also looking forward. Hopefully I run into people I know. If I don't, that's okay. Make new friends, baby. Yeah. Yeah, promising start. We'll see what happens in the future. But yeah. Okay, fuck. Okay.
They're also a team in marching band, because I'm in marching band. It's a marching band house. What do you do?
Okay, time now is 1:55 a.m. in the morning. Holy shit, I'm so tired. So I actually came back home at around 10:30 or 10:40, and then for the last 3 hours or so I've done nothing. I did make myself dinner part 2, and I did edit a video, but I just spent like an hour and a half just scrolling Instagram and Twitter. Whenever I'm tired, I just have no motivation to do anything at all, and I need a lot of strength to push myself. So anyways, let's pick up where we left off. We have I checked Brightspace, and I finally got to check out what films is the non-Disney animation class screening, and holy fucking shit, this is the most based list of films in any film class I've ever seen. It's screening Millennium Actress and Grave of the Fireflies back to back, which is horrifying. I know Millennium Actress is a masterpiece. I haven't seen either, but Grave of the Fireflies at school, I need to sit alone that day. I can't sit with anyone because I'm gonna be crying, I think. I don't know. Not only that, but later in the semester, the professor is playing Your Name and Evangelion Rebuild, the first film. Holy shit. Ava? Part of a school syllabus? It's actually insane. Like, am I living in the right timeline? And it's so... Thank God I already saw the original Evangelion and the end of Evangelion. Because watching the rebuild without having seen the original is a terrible idea. But yeah, so base. And then the American animation films are all like shitty choices, like South Park and Sausage Party. But then like we also have Waking Life and Fantastic Mr. Fox. It's insane. Like I don't know where did any of this came up, but it's absolutely crazy, and I can't wait to take that class. I can't wait to write a 50-page thesis on the end of Evangelion. I can't wait. So I was really, really happy about the non-Disney animation class, which is happening tomorrow. I'm really excited. That might be the class of the semester. Best class out of the 5. But anyways, let's continue. So I had chicken pot pie, and while microwaving it, I talked with Adipta. He asked me a bunch of questions today. He was like, so are you USC? What major are you? And I said film, and he suddenly got interested. He's like, oh, film, that's great, that's one of my dreams too. And I asked him, what does he study? He's not in USC. He studies IT in some other university, Pacific State University. But his ultimate goal is like Hollywood, you know. And suddenly I feel blessed that I'm able to study film at USC. Literally one of the best film schools in the world. And now I'm here. Of course, for a very heavy price. But there are a lot of people out there who are like, ooh, I dream of being a filmmaker. I dream of Hollywood. And they're already 30-something and they're still pursuing like a law degree or something. And no shame to those people. It's just, I'm on the right track. I'm still kind of young and I'm already like racing to the top, you know, like with all my power, even though I'm still nowhere near the top. But like, I'm powering through. I'm giving my best. So anyways, I ate the chicken pot pie and I immediately had a stomachache. But I can't go to the bathroom because I would be late to my production design class. So, I left. I changed my clothes and I left and I went to my production design class. So this off campus, it's very near campus. It's actually like right beside Gateway, which is like a street across the northeast entrance of the school. Turns out the place I'm going to, SCS, which is Cinematic Art Station, is right beside the Robert Zemeckis soundstage. So I went there and it's a pretty cool sub-campus. It's literally just 2 buildings, very minute, very inconspicuous. And as I still had stomachache and I was kind of scared, but I knew for a fact that my body is somehow going to suppress that stomachache. Yeah, I got a little lost at first. There's SCS and there's RCS, which of course the R stands for Robert Zemeckis. So, I went to SCS and there's no one, and I went to RCS, but like, as I'm walking towards this campus and I see the people, the young adults, I'm like, holy shit, these people are the chosen ones. Film production, USC. They are the chosen ones. They have been gifted with such an opportunity. Like, they're golden. Like, never have I ever, even though I've been studying at USC for 1 semester already, never have I ever felt like I belong. It always feels like the people there are the rich and the privileged ones. But yeah, oh yeah, I forgot to finish the conversation with Adipta. Talked to him, and then I revealed that I'm from Hong Kong, and he's like, oh, respect. You're an international student and you're studying film. That's very ambitious. I respect that. I asked him where he's from. Turns out he's not Indian. He's Bengalese. Yeah, he's from Bangladesh. And he told me, oh, it's a South Asian country, it's near India, and I'm like, yeah, I know where that is. Like, come on. I was even gonna talk to him about Bengali cinema, but I would be too cultured. I would come off a little pretentious. But I am not an ignorant man. I know where countries are. But anyways, yeah, I went to SCS, and a couple people were also going to the same direction, and they led me into the classroom. So my expectation, I was actually really nervous. My expectation is that we're gonna just sit in a soundstage, and it's just gonna be a very fun, like, even if it's all theory, we'll all be sitting down and we'll all be like socializing, and it's gonna be an interesting experience because it's my first ever film production class at USC. And it's the opposite. So I sat down in this very white classroom. It feels like a lab. And then maybe around 15 people sat down. I immediately found Franklin and I sat beside him. And I and Franklin, the last time I saw each other was like the first general meeting of HKSA. And then before that, it's Anywhere the Wind Blows. So it's honestly like, I don't really have a very good impression of who he is, really. But yeah, I sat down, and I think he's so used to speaking in English that he started talking to me in English. So he asked me, how has it been? And I responded in Cantonese. And then he awkwardly continued the conversation with Cantonese. But then another girl joined, and it appears that she's really close to them. I don't know if they're dating or if they're just friends, but it's this Korean American girl. Apparently they're both from the same major. A bunch more people showed up. Eventually a Chinese girl. At first I thought she's like Chinese American, but I later found out she's Chinese. She sat beside me. And with film production, I try to act as cool and as rizzed up as possible, I don't know why. Even though this is probably going to be sloppy and silly, but like it's the first class and I need to pretend to be, like cool, and I need to dress nice and stuff. So everything about me is very clean and tidy and well put together. So this girl sat beside me, and she was like, oh, excuse me, because her chair was really high. So, okay, to my left is Franklin, to my right is this girl. Her chair was really high. She was like, oh, excuse me, do you know how to put the chair down? And I'm like, yeah, there's a lever at the side. And she's like, yeah, I pulled it and it's not working. And I'm like, maybe we need to push it, like, harder. So I helped her, and then I pushed it down, and then she's like, thank you. And then I'm like, no problem. And then a while later, I noticed she keeps looking at me. But then it's not really because I'm like a Riz master or anything like that. It's more like when you suddenly sit beside someone you don't know, you tend to just look at them a lot. It's like a biological instinct. But yeah, during break, a very short, like 10-minute break in the middle of a 3-hour long class, I got to talk to her more. And I was like, what's your major? And she's in MAP, which is Media Arts and Practice. And we actually had a pretty good conversation. She's from Shanghai, actually, and she asked me for Instagram. She's like, oh, in case I drop this production design class, but I still want to know what's happening in this class, do you want my Instagram? And I'm like, sure. So yeah, this is interesting. Literally the first class, we've never worked together, and a girl just asked me to give her my Instagram. So that's intriguing. But she's a really small girl and she's sophomore. So I'm guessing like maybe 20 years old. I don't know. But yeah. So for the class itself, it started off really strong. So this white-haired old lady, this professor, she's been talked about. Jing Chen especially has talked about this professor for a bit. So I had high hopes. She started off the class with, she didn't even introduce herself. She didn't even ask us to introduce ourselves. She started off the class with, anyone here, when you read stories, can you see the story? Raise your hands. And of course we all raise our hands. And then he's like, if you see a red apple, if you read a red apple, do you see a red apple? If you read a gray fox, do you see a gray fox? So it started off like that, but afterwards, the rest of the class is extremely boring. She didn't go through the syllabus. She did mention what we're gonna do, but it was very vague. She didn't introduce herself. She didn't introduce the TA. She didn't ask us to introduce ourselves. She just started rambling. She just started rambling about production design. Like, okay, so what is production design? Like, it's very basic, and she had a PowerPoint going with it, but it's like things that I know already. So this is what an art director does. So this is a prop master. But she sits down and she speaks really slow and she's so monotone. Plus, the room was really cold. The AC's turned up really high. So I started falling asleep. And I really didn't want to fall asleep in my first film production class at USC, but it's so hard to resist. It's so hard. So I tried to distract myself. I took out pens and then started doodling on my notebook because, art, of course I'm doodling things. And then the break happened. And then after the break, I'm even sleepier and I actually started falling asleep like I'm in a church sermon or something, which is crazy. I had a whole cup of coffee today for lunch. And I'm still falling asleep like that. So, yeah. So, it honestly felt like a fever dream. Both Franklin, who is to my left, and the other girl to his left, they're both typing stuff on laptops and chatting, and they're both, like, looking at other stuff. And they're both not listening at all. I'm falling asleep. And at the very end, I tried so hard to stay awake, but it was so difficult. I kept snoozing. So that's it. Honestly, and it appears that we don't have any group projects. It's all individual, and it's like, we need to write, there's a midterm, there's a final, there are a couple of small assignments, there's a visual diary thing. It seems to be a very theory-based class, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I'm prepared to be a little underwhelmed. But still, I don't know, it's too early to tell how will this class develop. Maybe it'll develop in very interesting ways. Who knows? But, yeah, I have to keep reminding myself, I want to study production design. Like, this is one of my goals. This is one of my sub-goals. And production design is so interesting. So please be interested in this. You're in one of the best film schools in the world, studying one of the most interesting fields in film. Like, be interested, So hopefully it goes somewhere. But, Franklin, I was expecting him to be this cold-blooded, like, this chill Riz guy. But turns out he's, like, nice. And we talked a little more after class. He was like, yeah, I didn't listen to her at all. And then I talked to that girl a little bit, and apparently, like after Anywhere the Wind Blows, Franklin has never been on a film set again. It's like, what? I always overestimate people. I always think people are more like powerful than me. I always assume that. But like, I'm going to more film sets than him. And then right before we left, we both called a free lift. Right before he left, he was like, "Oh, let's meet up." Like he told me in Cantonese, "Let's meet up sometime and eat, like grab lunch," you know. So that's fucking cool. Let's make it happen. Same thing with Glenn. Like when I saw Glenn today, it's like, yeah, let's meet up, you know. So maybe all Hong Kongers, maybe we could have our own little Hong Konger friend group, you know. I don't know, but yeah, it's good to connect with Franklin. So let's see how it goes. So yeah, 3 classes knocked out of the park, 2 more to go. 1 tomorrow night, which I'm very excited for. And I'm also gonna edit with Tova tomorrow, which is great. But it's gonna be a lot of work, but it's gonna be great. And yeah, I'm really tired. I came back home and I went to the bathroom and I cooked myself dinner part 2, which is chicken thighs, 2 slices of bread, and chopped salad kit. That's a lot of food actually. Yeah. But yeah, I'm so dead inside. I want to just go to bed right now actually. But it's still kind of early. It's 2 a.m. So I'm thinking I either edit a college update video or watch an episode of House of the Dragon. And then I'll wake up probably at around 9:30 tomorrow if I want to arrive at 11 at USC campus. 9:30, wake up, breakfast, film an album review, film a Film 33 documentary thing, and then leave. But yeah, Luis, I made a couple Instagram stories talking about how hyped I am about my film studies class, my animation class. And Luis and I talked a little bit, and Luis was like, was it worth it though? I mean, it's a cool class, but all that tuition? Really? And that hurt me a little bit because I do totally realize how expensive USC is. And it's not like I decided to go to USC on a whim. Like, it was a decision I thought about and I went with it. And I'm sure my parents would ask me to go to USC too, but I don't know, it's just conflicted feelings. It's like, at the end of the day, film school doesn't really matter. In fact, my degree probably won't matter. And why am I spending $37K every semester? So like over 70 something K just on tuition, just for a silly degree. Like, why? It's all so pointless. But then at the same time, it's like, it's for the connections. But then, is it though? Have I made those connections yet? Was those money worth it? And then now I'm starting to think about scholarships. Like, what if I somehow luckily found a couple scholarships? What if it's worth it by then, you know? But it'll never be worth it. I lost my apartment, or will lose my apartment, because of USC. Like, it will always be like a scar, you know? Equivalent exchange, I guess? Is it all that equivalent though? I don't know. But yeah. So yeah, what a long day. What a dense long day, and I'm so tired. Yeah. Yeah. Fuck. But yeah, tomorrow editing with Tova, and then at around 4 something p.m., 4:30, I'm gonna go home and have lunch, which is gonna be very simple. Like cup noodles, and then 6 to 10 will be the animation class. And then 10, I go home and I have dinner, which is going to be steak. Carne asada steak that I cooked like a week ago. Potatoes. I still do have broccoli. Yes, I'll have a can of Coca-Cola. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully my second semester of USC goes well. Hopefully I meet an interesting girl. But then again, I feel like when I fell in love with Leslie, honestly, during that time, I wasn't even thinking about romance. I really shouldn't think about it. I don't know. I truly don't know anymore. But yeah. Yeah, excited for tomorrow. And then the final class out of the 5 that I still need to take is CTCS 191, Wednesday. Yeah. And then there's a discussion. There's a religion class, back to back, and then there's a discussion. But that discussion is, we're not having it, so I can immediately go home. Yeah. Okay, time now is 9:47 a.m. on August 27th. Okay, I'm right. It's the 27th. Slept from I think 4:50 a.m. till 9:45. Yeah, it's a little late. Yeah. I still can't sleep earlier than 4. To be fair, last night, I didn't even do much. The fact that I came back home super late already made it worse. So Monday is like, I don't have any time to do anything on Monday. Yeah, today, supposedly, I can wake up naturally on Tuesdays, but today I have to edit Film 33 documentary with Tova, so I have to wake up early again, thus waking up early again. Oh, which is so tiring. And then tomorrow there's another morning class. It's a little less early because tomorrow it's 11 a.m. but still, Jesus, fuck. So hopefully tonight I sleep even earlier. 3:30 a.m. Okay, tomorrow 11. Tomorrow the class is 11 a.m. So I'd say I'd wake up at 9 maybe. 3:30 a.m. to 9. That's another less than 6 hours. Thursday, I would have a nice sleep on Thursday, I guess. But yeah, right now I'm gonna brush my teeth, eat a donut, film an album review, go out and meet Tova. Yeah, and then tonight it'll be the film class, non-Disney animation. At the same time, HKOS is going to do their thing at SCA. During break, I'm going to head over to SCA and check them out. Just for funsies. That's it. Nothing else to talk about. Nothing else to talk about. And yeah. Hopefully more film set opportunities come along. You know? I don't know. I'm still a little scared that the second semester is going to be as underwhelming as the first. Like, I don't make any friends in all of the classes, and yeah, etc., etc. There's still that possibility, you know. But then again, nothing's predictable. Life is unpredictable. Also, I learned about this like a couple days ago already, but Ariel is not free on September 7th, which means that we're not celebrating on that day. We're not throwing a big party at Cliff's place or whatever on that day. But there will be a celebration. There will be a celebration of sorts. But it appears September 7th I have to be spending time alone. Also, I don't know what day it is that day. But regardless, yeah, I'm gonna do the traditional, you know, Uber Eats / DoorDash / Grubhub. I'm gonna watch a good film. Yeah. But yeah, my birthday is gonna be pretty good old traditional loner birthday. Lonely birthday. But there will be a celebration of sorts. But yeah. And yeah, it's crazy that yesterday I already knocked 3 classes out of 5 out of the park. Usually it's like, oh, tomorrow I'll be having another class, and you know, we'll see what happens. But yeah. Oh well. Outside of the classes, there's still ABCA. There's still Hong Kong Student Association, but I don't know how much I want to be involved. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully Yao has some sort of film set thing. Like, please bring me on. Yeah.
And then during the
Alright, time now is 9:59 p.m. Yeah, so I just came back home. I'm in my outside clothes right now. I'm actually really hungry, or a bit hungry. Not really, but a bit hungry. But most importantly, really tired. And I don't know if I should talk about my experiences now or after, because I do want to just, you know, get it off clean. Yeah, I'll talk about it now. So today has been okay. It's also very dense. Usually, one day I just do one main thing outside. In the last 4 days, including today, I've done multiple things within the same day outside, which makes me very busy and tired. So today, I went to USC to edit my film 33 Dr. Tova, which I've done once already, and I and Tova also edited together over Discord 3 times while I was back in Hong Kong, very productively so. And I arrived at USC at around 11:20. She was even later than me for some reason. And we proceeded to edit on the 3rd floor of SCA on 2 small couches for the doc. And it was a bit uncomfortable, more uncomfortable than before, because before we had 2 long couches. And it's also very quiet. When we edited back in early July, it was very quiet in USC because classes are over. but it's not as quiet now. But we still did amazing things with the doc. We still did very well. I also forgot to bring my mouse with me, so I used a touchpad to edit, which is so goddamn frustrating. But we still edited a lot, and now the documentary is at like 23 minutes long, which is psychotic. Yeah, that's exactly what Tova said. In her words, psychotic, how long it is. So it's inevitable that we'll have to cut a lot down. And yeah, if we want the final product to be 1 hour long. There are also moments of like creative differences, as expected. Like there are moments where Benny in the interview said he wants to beat Zach. And there's a moment where he sort of threw, not beat Zach, beat Birkin. There's a moment where he sort of throws Carly and Zach under the bus for kissing up to Cuccio. And I really liked it because it really shows how toxic the class is, because this system is pitting us against each other. But Tova didn't want that, because Tova's idea of the documentary is a little bit more different than mine. My approach is much more cinematic. Her approach is much more like informational, like a video essay. She told me her cut is going to be like half an hour long, but I think that's impossible. Like my cut it has to be 3.5 hours long. That's how much we need to cover in the documentary. But it was still great being able to edit with her. At around 3:20 something, I took a bus back home and immediately made myself cup noodles as fast as possible. Cup noodles, 2 eggs, bit of vegetables, simple lunch. And then I immediately left. I was scared I was gonna be late. I walked to school again. And I arrived at Norris Theater, and I took CTCS 469, I believe that's what it's called, non-Disney animation, which is a class I'm super excited about. And wow, first of all, I was late by like a couple minutes, but it's like I missed nothing. But wow, so first of all, from what people have said about this professor, I thought he's a very eccentric guy. Probably like young, but like sloppy and, you know, eccentric. But he's not eccentric at all. He's actually very well dressed, well mannered. But he does give off like the bald professor back in my community college. He does give off that vibe. He's more in touch with modern sensations. But the syllabus, super chill. There are no finals. There are like a couple quizzes, but no finals. No papers, not really. There are writings and there are readings, but nothing huge. And it's the whole class, like the lecture is like nothing. We have nothing to really talk about. The class is called Style Analysis, so we're not really dealing with history here. We're just talking about the movie's style. That's the whole point of the class. So we watched Wolf Walkers today. Great film. Holy shit. He just talks about like the background a little bit. It's like we're in a theater and he's presenting the film. And then afterwards we had a pretty quick discussion. We watched another animated short afterwards. But that's it. Essentially this class is basically week after weeks of film screenings with a little bit of exercises and a little bit of homework at the side, a little bit of discussion. But the main dish is enjoying movies, which I absolutely love. So I was like snooping around trying to see if anyone I know are here. Turns out, sadly, maybe it's just me, but there aren't too many people that I know who showed up. Unsurprisingly, North was there. And North, she really likes getting close to professors. I don't really know why, but there are 2 breaks. For both breaks, she also went to the professor and talked to him. Another girl who showed up, and I was like, she looks familiar. It's actually Vicky, the girl from Shenzhen. Last time I saw her, I had way longer hair. so she probably didn't really recognize me. But I went up to her during the second break, and she was sitting with a guy, this other Chinese guy with glasses, very spiky hair, looks lame. But I was like, hey, but they were chatting, and I didn't want to interrupt them, but I did eventually. I was like, excuse me, excuse me, you're Vicky, right? And I don't want to say it like you're, who? But then at the same time, if it really isn't her, then I would be embarrassed to death. But thank God it's her. I like that I've met so many people at this point that I'm scared of mistaking people. But it is her, because my eyesight never fools me. And she remembers me. She's like, you're Enoch, right? And I'm like, yes. So apparently she took this class before already with the same professor, but the topic was sci-fi, which is still interesting, but I don't know if I would dedicate a whole semester to sci-fi. But neither am I sure if I want to dedicate a whole semester to animated films, but the syllabus is just too good. So I told Vicky, like, I'm excited for the films because the syllabus, the film picks are crazy. Like Evangelion, I just blurted out like Evangelion, Millennium Actress, and since she's an animation major, I just assume that she knows what I'm talking about, and she knows, and she's surprised too. So after class, I actually went up to the professor. There's a tiny line, and everyone's asking him actual questions. I just wanted to chat. So I asked him like, oh, so is there a final? So are there deadlines? Blah blah blah. Bullshit questions. And then I was like, oh, by the way, I'm excited for this class. Like I saw Evangelion, the original, and the movie. That's with the original. And then he's like, oh yeah, so there's a rebuild, and it's the first movie that's basically the first 6 episodes, but re-edited together. Like he's in touch. He's in touch with modern sensations. I'm telling you. So yeah, I'm like, that's great, thank you. So I left. Took a free lift, went back home. Here I am. Very simple class. Although Lillian's interested in crashing this class, he asked me to send her syllabus. If you don't remember, she's the casting director for Anywhere the Wind Blows. So she might be here, but when we watch Grave of the Fireflies, I may have to sit alone. Just saying. Because I'll be sobbing. Same with Your Name. I'll be sobbing, But yeah. Yeah. So that's that. And not much else. Very simple class. Looking forward. Not necessarily anything excessive or overwhelming, but it's simple, but it's good. Short and sweet. Not short and sweet. It's long. It's a long class, but we actually ended early today because we don't have much to say. I suspect we'll keep ending early because there really is not much to teach. It's just him going off and yapping about the film, which is cool, And then he sits on a chair and he just looks at the whole class. And the way he strolls around is like me strolling around right now. So that's cool, This makes me want to be a film professor. But yeah, definitely, faux show. Yeah, I guess that's it. I really want to go to bed early. I actually did fall asleep in the middle of Wolf Walkers, so I'm tired. I'm so tired I didn't even notice how tired I am. So I do want to sleep early, but the VTuber Aqua's graduation live is 4 a.m. So maybe I'll watch that a little bit and then I'll sleep. But yeah, so maybe 4:15. Probably sleep 4:15. I'm waking up. I have an 11 a.m. class tomorrow, so I'll probably do 9:30. That gives me about 5 hours, which is not great. Yeah, I still haven't texted the employer, the architecture woman. I really don't want to work for her at all. I don't know, I'm just getting bad vibes. And even if I do text her, I do not want to I do not want to go to her company on Thursday. I just want to sleep all day. And Friday, I don't know. Saturday, I want to hang out with Michelle and I want to hang out with Justin T, who's planning to watch DD this weekend, anyways. Yeah. What else? What else? What else? What else? Not much else. Katie, the Korean American girl, she made an Instagram story saying, "Oh, in summer is like the Avengers Endgame for USC Asian filmmakers." And I'm thinking, are you sure? Are you referring to Asian American filmmakers, or are you talking about Asian filmmakers in general? Because you get the Chinese gang, and the Chinese circle of filmmaking is like so big. Like, do you have freaking Robin, the director of Neither Donkey Nor Horse, on your team? Like, do you have Yao or Frank or Joy on your PD team? Like, do you have, like, who else? Who is a very famous DP? The duo, Rocky and Miley, the killer duo. Do you have them? And that's only the Chinese circle. Like, I wonder if there are any South Asian circles or like Korean circles. I don't know. Or like the Taiwanese circles. I know there are out there. So I wouldn't call it an Avengers Endgame. I don't know. I don't even know that many people. But like, I highly doubt it. It would be extremely difficult to have an Avengers level event, you know? But yeah. But if it really is an Avengers Endgame type of situation, I'm glad I'm part of it, even by a slight bit. And yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow, I guess. CTCS 191 Intro to TV. I'm sure it's going to be a shitty class, but at least I'll see Rachel. And, yeah. And then there's the religion class, which I'm even more pumped about. And then I can go home. So, that's that. I can go home and sleep, actually. Sheesh. Yeah, nothing else. My Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray has been shipped. Alright, time now is 9:28 a.m. in the morning on August 28th. Yes. I slept from 4:40 to 9:15. So 4.5 hours. And then yeah, that's it. So I once again I slept very late. I really didn't want to sleep that late. I planned to sleep 4:15. But yeah. And I only watched half of a TV episode, actually less than half. And yeah, didn't draw, didn't do shit. I realized that, especially with this current schedule, I have no time to do anything. Like, and this semester just started. Like, I don't have assignments yet, but I will eventually. And I don't even have a job yet. So YouTube, it's gonna be tougher and tougher. As in, I don't think I'm gonna be able to make YouTube videos as frequently as before. So, on my birthday, I'm probably gonna film something and tell everyone that I'm gonna slowly, like, release videos less on YouTube. Also, from September onwards, I will not plan out my movie watch list because I genuinely can't. I genuinely can't watch what I want because I already have enough movies to watch for my classes. Yeah. But I still have several reviews to do for the rest of August. Uh, even for today, this morning. So, yeah. But yeah, today, CTCS 191, which is Intro to TV, the last class out of the 5. And then afterwards, it's Religion, Intro to Religion again. Back to back, 10 minutes apart. So, right after class, I need to rush to DMC. Yeah, and I'm gonna be hungry as fuck probably. Because I won't be having lunch until maybe 4. And I don't even know what to eat for lunch. Like, I have zero idea. Like, I already had cup noodles yesterday. Or like instant noodles. I don't even know what to eat for breakfast now. I don't know. Maybe cookies. Probably cookies. Yeah. I genuinely don't know. But yeah. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. I still want to go to the gym, but I really don't have time. Somehow I don't have time for anything. I've been dying nonstop, so tomorrow I ain't going anywhere. I might go to Ralph's, but most importantly tomorrow, I naturally wake up. I don't want to wake up early at all. I'm gonna just sleep. Sleep, sleep, and sleep. That's tomorrow's priority. Thank God I don't have classes on Thursdays. Sounds so busy outside.
So you're the Monday at 12? Yeah.
Bitch! Bitch! Trying to take what my family. Bitch!
Okay, time now is 5:41 p.m. I just finished lunch, which is a canned soup, a slice of bread, and leftover chicken. It's very mid-lunch, but who cares at this point? I'm tired as fuck. I am so tired, it's actually crazy how tired I am. I've been sleep deprived for the last 5 days in a row, and I really need to sleep tomorrow. In fact, I want to sleep now, but if I do sleep now, I won't be able to fall asleep tonight. So tonight I'm gonna try to fall asleep at like 3 a.m. That's the goal, 3 a.m. And then if I wake up naturally, I predict I'll wake up at noon. Good 9 hours sleep, you know. So let's talk about today a little bit. First of all, woke up, went to school. Surprisingly, again, it's always like this. The morning, if I have a little, like, barely any sleep, sure, it will feel bad, but it's not that bad. But as the day progresses, I get burned out and fatigued way faster. So I went to CTCS 191. I was late by like 3-4 minutes, but it's a-okay. And oh my god, this might be my least favorite class out of the 5 I'm taking this semester. Yeah. And again, it's only the first class, so who knows. But I can already tell this is going to be my least favorite. It's Intro to TV, and it is, as expected, as uninteresting as possible. And the professor is nice. I think she's Hungarian. I don't know. I did some research on her last name and where it might possibly be from. But it's the Raystark Theater, which is pretty cool. I sat at the side and I took out my laptop. There aren't too many people here that I know. I'm a little I'm a little surprised that Ryan, that dude I was in the same class with for 2 classes last semester, he's not in any of my classes this semester. I'm surprised. Um, so I didn't know anyone from 191 aside from Leza, who I talked to during break, and they were like, "Yeah, what do you think of the class?" And we had a conversation. Um, so it's cool. By going to in summer's build day, I made a friend in 2 classes. So that kind of is pretty great. Um but yeah, it's pretty boring. There's like a syllabus, a lot of readings, but it's also not that intense. There are not a lot of papers or assignments. It's just bare minimum, and we're watching a lot of TV shows, but they're mostly shows that I've seen before or I've heard of. The Boys. There's one anime that we're watching, the first episode of, we're watching Kingdom, the K drama, which is arguably like the second most accessible Korean drama. The first one being Squid Game. And it's all right. We're not being taught anything too interesting either. Not a lot of notes. I mean, it's 191, so it's like very low level class, and it's not. Even though apparently most of the people in that class are CAMS majors, it's not supposed to be CAMS majors only. It could be, a bunch random people can take this class. So it's made very easy, and yeah, I can tell. So not too excited about this class. So we had a break. I talked to Rachel. Rachel was late. I gave her McDonald's Shake Shake powder, and I told her it's like 60 Hong Kong dollars, so like 7.69, and she zelled me $8. So I gained 30 cents from this business. It looked like I was dealing drugs with her. But yeah, Rachel was complaining about her roommate. So her roommate, who is this apparently a fat Taiwanese woman, kept bringing men into the apartment, and Rachel has been dealing with her, complaining to her about it. She's not listening, and now the lease is about to be renewed, and Rachel's asking her roommate to leave. Rachel's also all summer long, Rachel has been dealing with this issue where CTCS 394, the white woman professor, was accusing her of plagiarism because apparently one of the sentences in her paper is taken from like the cover of a DVD box, according to Rachel. And the TA actually reported her first. While I have to admit that the TAs were unnaturally strict, the TA I was assigned to was actually nicer to me in the latter half of the semester. But this TA straight up reported Rachel for plagiarism, and she might get a C for this class, which is fucking crazy. Thank God I'm a good writer. Thank God I'm a good movie critic and a good writer. I don't want to call myself a good movie critic, but let's be honest here. I've done movie criticism since I was 14. Like, I'm built for this shit. But, yeah. Yeah. I think, the class is so boring. We were gonna watch one of the episodes of this TV show called The Good Fight. And in the middle of the episode, or not even in the middle, like after maybe 10-ish minutes, suddenly there's a power outage and the entire screen just, and all the lights just turn off. And we're all like, whoa. And then we waited and waited and waited, and after a while the screen turned on again, but there's no sound. And then there's a guy from upstairs, like the AV room, audio visual room, who yelled out loud saying, I tried my best, I did everything I could, the creative tech people are coming, whatever that means. And then people just started leaving, and the whole class fucking leaves, which is hilarious. Even funnier than the actual TV show itself. So I'm like, fine, I'll leave. So me and Rachel, we left, and that's great because I and Rachel can talk more, and I'm not worried about being late from a religion class. So I and Rachel talked a little bit. We walked over to DMC, and Rachel's having issues with taking classes. Apparently, she's just enrolled in classes. She enrolled into 392, and I'm like, why are you taking 392? You already took 394. It's either 392, 393, or 394. It's one of them. You don't have to take all three of them. And we're just like, what? Like, how the hell? I've only taken USC for one semester, and I know the syllabus, and not syllabus, I know the plan better. Like, I know my major better than she does. I don't know how. And I was really calm, and she was like, why are you so calm? Like, how are you so calm? And I'm like, I don't know. So, yeah. I feel bad for her. I have every class planned out already for my semester and next semester. And, like, when they release the class schedules, I will do all my research and pick the right professor. And then the moment I'm allowed to pick classes, I'm gonna pick them all, you know. So I went to my religion class, not late at all. A couple of new students arrived. But yeah, today is definitely less energetic than the first class, simply because we all sat apart. The Jewish woman sat on my table, like sat by my table, but everyone else was sitting by themselves, like one person for one table. And the professor's here, and then the entire class today for 1.5 hours is just her sitting down on a chair and yapping. No PowerPoint. I mean, there isn't even a screen. There isn't even a screen in the classroom. And it's just her sitting down and talking. And, like, she's like, oh, so you all should have read chapter 1 of this book. And I'm like, shit, I haven't. But I'm not that worried because it's like, I'm sure a bunch of people haven't. So I skimmed through the chapter, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of know what's going on. So the professor asked us what we think about a religion and how do we define one. So I said something. I talked about how it's a belief system about human interaction with the supernatural. I'm basically quoting my cultural anthropology class from community college. And then I talked about Taoism and Confucianism. There's this new Indian student who, like, seems to be not paying attention. He's doodling on his notebook. He's using his phone. He's secretly recording the class. And then he suddenly speaks up and he starts rambling on and on and on and on about Hinduism and how it's polytheistic and how Buddhism came out of Hinduism for some reason, even though I kind of disagree. But then again, who am I to say? But that's kind of interesting. But yeah, the class was over. Nothing else happened. Came back home. That's it. This crazy dude on my bus kept yelling the F slur, the homophobic F slur, and kept saying bitch. So that's that. But yeah, nothing else. Came back home, had lunch. Here I am. I'm so tired. So I guess so far my ranking of the 5 classes would be I genuinely don't know what's my favorite class. Oh my god. Okay, so I was originally thinking that production design class, like art directing class, would be my favorite. If it gets practical, I can see it becoming my favorite. But only judging from the first week, only judging from the first week, I think CTCS 469, non-Disney animation, that's my number one. Number two, I'd say art directing? Question mark. It's very boring, but then again, I'm sure it's gonna go somewhere. Number three is CTCS 200. It's not too bad. And when I'm watching silent films with Matt, it's not too bad. You know, watching a film with a cinephile beside you is always better than not, you know? And number four, it is Religion 301, which is also not that bad, but it's also not going to be that entertaining of a class unless we have a PowerPoint. Then maybe it'll be visually more entertaining. And then number five is CTCS 191. But in any case, I'm excited for the CTCS 200 discussion section on Friday because Matt's going to be there too. But what's great about having all my classes crammed in the first 3 days of the week is that now my school week is sort of over. So I can just chill out and I can just relax for a moment. I still haven't talked to I talked to Justin T a little bit. We're probably gonna watch DD this weekend. I might hang out with Michelle this weekend. Also, I might go to Magdalena Bay live with Luis, but I'm debating myself because it is a little expensive. Also, is it worth it? Do I love their music that much? But maybe it's worth it. Maybe it's worth it. I don't know. But yeah, I feel so tired. Like, my head is genuinely hurting a little bit. Like, the front here, it feels heavy. It feels like it's falling, you know? It feels heavy and I don't know, I'm just tired, fatigued. Oh, Luis is texting me. So yeah, I'm excited for whatever's coming. Also, this morning, I received an email for In Summer Day 1 call sheet, which is this Sunday. And the whole shoot is like 3 hours long. The call time is 8 a.m. And no, the call time is 9 a.m. I think. And lunch is 11:45. And then it wraps at like 1 p.m. Like, what? And we're just shooting 2 small scenes. But then the thing is, like, I was never told that I was going to be in the shoot. So for a moment I thought, maybe this is a good thing. Now I can actually join the shoot itself. And then I looked at the call sheet, and my name's not even on there. So why the hell did I receive the call sheet? I don't know. It's so funny. So I looked at the email chain. I looked at, like, the list of names who are attached to the email, and oh my god, a lot of people are attached to it. Like Mitchell and Sid, if you remember who they are. Apparently Katie's a second AD. I thought she's like one of the producers. North is of course sound. And like in the call sheet, there is no art team. It's just Jing Chen himself. So I don't know what's going on, but Mitchell and Sid are not on the call sheet either. It's a very small crew, but a lot of people are tagged in the email, but none of them are in the call sheet. So we just have this extraneous information now. And also, surprisingly, Colin, this guy who is friends with Matt, who made it a very funny and weird and gross short film for Cam's Fest. I want to be friends with him, hopefully, somehow. I wish he would show up in one of the classes I'm taking. I don't know. He's in the email chain list. I don't know why. But yeah. So I'm not going to set. This is a false alarm. Yeah. Alright, time now is 10:22 p.m. I'm dying of hunger, I'm dying of tiredness, I'm dying of sleepiness. I fell asleep sitting on my chair 4 times already. 4 times. Yeah, so few times I've been this sleepy in my life. I'm gonna go cook some rice, cabbage, and pork chops right now. Someone's singing karaoke downstairs. I think it's Mary. I don't care. I'll eat food. I'll come back up. I'll watch some TV I'll watch House of the Dragon. I already finished 1.5 episodes. I'll edit a little bit and then I'll sleep. All day tomorrow. So apparently the involvement fair of USC is tomorrow. I have no idea. I just found out through Instagram. If I wake up in time, I will go. If not, then I won't. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Yeah, I will go to Ralph's tomorrow. I will go to Ralph's, buy some veggies. I have an extreme lack of veggies. I only have cabbage in my fridge right now. And my pork chops are rotten. They're sour, but I'll still eat them. I guess. I have no other choice. I mean, it should be okay. If I season it a lot. And, yeah, that's it. I have 2 slices of pork chop, I'll eat 1. If I get stomachache, then it's whatever. I'll throw the other one away. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add. I'm really extremely tired. I'm honestly surprised that I'm even alive right now. Something positive? Film 33 doc is going really well. I've been rewatching it, and it really is so much. I'm having ideas on how I could cut down the documentary. It's going to be a painful process, but it can be done. But yeah, it is coming along. It is indeed coming along. Oh my god, I'm so cold. I'm feeling so cold. The AC is at 73 degrees, and I'm still freezing. My blood pressure is really low right now. I can't wait to fall asleep. I can't wait to go to bed. It's gonna be amazing. Sleeping is gonna be so fucking good. So yeah. That's it. Bye bye.